Before we get started with today's video, I want to let you guys know about a great new prayer app called Just Pray. What makes this app stand out is it doesn't just give you the Qibla direction and prayer times and all that stuff, but it actually has unique features to make sure you pray on time. One feature that you can enable is the feature that will actually block your other apps until you pray and mark down that you have prayed your Salah. Another amazing feature is their Fajr alarm. If you enable it, it will keep going off until you actually get up and scan your prayer mat, telling the app, I'm ready to pray. I think it's a great app for any Muslim to use, and I am using it myself, and so far I've had a great experience. So if you guys want to download Just Pray, you can find the link down below in the description. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute since I posted, but I believe this topic is definitely important, and I do think I need to talk about it. And of course, I'm talking about the Lily J situation. It has definitely gotten way out of hand. The kind of takes I've seen online are a bit ludicrous, so I wanted to clarify some things and just share my thoughts and give my take on the situation. Now, I can't use any of her clips from any of her platforms in this video because she is like very aggressively copyright striking anyone who uses even like a whopping few seconds of her video in their own video. I want this video to stay up, I want this channel to stay up, and I actually want you guys to be able to see and watch this video. So a brief recap of the situation. Lily J started posting, I think in like 2024 or 25, about Islam. She announced her reversion to Islam, I think in 2025, and she's been posting videos kind of talking to ChatGPT and making these, like, in my opinion, kind of cringe videos of like, hey ChatGPT, which is the most logical religion? And then it would answer, oh, Islam, obviously, which obviously, as Muslims, we believe is the most logical. We can make a case to demonstrate it's the most logical, blah, blah, whatever. The point is she's using ChatGPT and Islam and the Muslim audience to kind of garner views. Now, this inherently isn't a problem, but it's important to know this is how she built her platform. Then eventually she started doing humanitarian work, and she has her own like Lily J Foundation, which is what we think is a charity, but really it's more of like a logistical company where they like orchestrate the use of funds for certain humanitarian work in different countries. So for example, she says she built a bakery in Gaza. She said that she built an orphanage in Uganda and does all this humanitarian work in Nepal and like a bunch of other places. The issue is ABC News did an investigation on the Lily J Foundation, and they found that not only were AI images and videos used, but no one can find this orphanage in Uganda, and all the charities and organizations that do this kind of humanitarian work in Uganda are required to be registered with the Ugandan government. And ABC said that not only did the Ugandan government say that there is no Lily J Foundation registered with us, there was no external verifiable evidence of this orphanage. So the obvious question is, where did that money go? We don't know. To make matters even worse, people in Gaza can't find the bakery. People in Gaza cannot find the bakery, and there's no evidence of Lily J doing any real work over the last few years in Gaza. The only real evidence is like a few very weird skeptical videos and images that she posts on her platform, which makes the whole thing very, very speculative. Now, a lot of people have done deep dives and went out of the way to compile all the evidence. Like Dean Response has done a lot of great work on this. You should really check out his channel and check out his in-depth videos if you want more of a breakdown, but that's kind of like a brief overview. And in response to all this, she posted a 38-minute long video in which she gives her kind of recap of the situation, how she feels, and then posts a few Zoom calls with the people she's allegedly helping. Now, I would include a clip here, but again, I'm probably going to get copyright struck, so I can't do that. But she shows about 5 or 6 clips of different people in Gaza, in Uganda, in Nepal, and other places, basically saying, thank you, Lily J. You're amazing. Your organization is great, and you've helped us so much. There's just one big issue, though. 3 of the videos include this brother here. This man is in Gaza. He's stuck in Gaza, and he's helping out with some of the distribution of the aid and the food and the water to Gaza. And Lily J has him in 3 of these clips, all saying thank you for this and that and thank you for your work. But then Dean Responds interviewed this brother, and then he said Lily J is a liar and a scammer.
اسمع عن موضوع ليلي جاي اللي هي عن أهم نقطة، هي كانت موضوع المخبز اللي فتحت أبواب الكشف عن من أين لك هذا، أو وين مصادر، أو وين كانت التوزيعات اللي بتتم من خلال ليلي جاي. فتفاجأت إنه في أعمال كثيرة ليلي جاي كانت تحاكي إنه هي عملتها، لكن مش موجودة على أرض الواقع إنه في قطاع غزة. مناطق الجنوب، أنا بحكي عن مناطق الجنوب. مناطق الجنوب ما فيها أي نشاطات نهائيا لليلي جاي نهائيا. في فيديوهات إلها ظهرت موجودة في الشمال إنه عملت مخبز حكيت في موضوع المخبز أكثر من مرة معها ومع الفريق ومع أشخاص ثانيين، يعني إنه وين موجود المخبز، فما في أي إجابة. وهذا اللي خلاني أشك إنه في علامات استفهام كثيرة موجودة في الموضوع، إنه ما في مخبز، لكن هي عبارة عن نقاط توزيع بتتم من مناطق معينة على أساس إنها مخبز تابع لليلي جاي، بس بيضعوا البنر، فريق تبعها بيلبس الزيري أثناء عملية العجين والخبيز وهيك، فبكونوا موجودين وبصوروا وعملية أو أثناء عملية التوزيع. ما فيش فيديو واحد واضح يوضح أعمال ليلي جاي الحقيقية حاليا، ما فيش ولا أي فيديو، وأغلبيتهم يعني أنا شايف في AI كثير عم بيظهر في الفترة الأخيرة لليلي جاي، لأنه أنا بن غزة وعارف المناطق هاي كلها، بعرف المنطقة الحقيقية هل هي تابعة لتوزيعات ليلي جي أو لا. كثير في AI موجود، لأنه لما أنا كنت أطلب منهم أكثر من شاحنة لغاية أول امبارح قبل كم من يوم لما حكوا معايا، قلت لهم أنتوا المنطقة هاي بدكم تجيبوا لها مش أقل من 3 إلى 5 شاحنات. قالوا لا واحدة. قلت لهم بس واحدة. قال
Yeah.
واحدة. قلت لا يا عم بشتغلش، ابعتوا الفريق تبعكم هذا، شو لكم فريق في الجنوب ابعتوه، ما ردوش.
معك لما انت اشتغلت معها كم مرة هي وزعت مي؟
مرتين.
So and he worked
والله
with
لولاك
Lily
عيل.
J Foundation for 2 months, and in the 2 months she only had 2 water trucks, that two water truck distributions, and it
And those
wasn't
two
just
water
for one camp. She would her and her team would tell him, okay, take this truck to all these other camps, the same
Oh my
freaking
God.
truck, and so like and video documented that
That's crazy.
that this water truck was all at these other camps, even if there's no water in it.
بالمختصر هاي نصابة كذابة ونصابة، مختصرات
احنا
الكلمتين.
عارفين
نحكي
هاي
في ليلي جاي،
محمد.
انا ضلني طول عمري احكي في ليلي جاي،
طيب
واحدة كذابة
محمد
وواحدة
بدي
نصابة.
اسالك،
والله يجي اي يا عم التيم تبعي يجي يقابل ويقعد، والله غير بالصرماية يتعامل معه.
محمد بدي اسال فيك.
اصلا انا في
طيب
سكن هاي قاعدة بتلم وبتشحت على ظهور الناس اللي زي هيك، قالت اذا هي وقفت احنا حنضيع. يا عم مكفي هبل.
So in an attempt to combat all this being said about her, she provided more speculative videos and even shows this one video where there's a short, like a screenshot you could see here of Lily J being misspelt at the top of the shirt. And she says that her team just had a typo when they were making the shirts and printing them and sending them, which obviously is possible, but to me it makes no sense because right under it saying Lily J is the actual logo that says Lily J and it's spelt correctly there. So how on earth is the Lily J at the top of the shirt spelt incorrectly, but then 3 inches under that you got Lily J spelt correctly? Like, how do you not as a graphic designer catch that? So personally, I'm not really buying that in light of all the other evidence. Also, there are other things that don't line up that need to be mentioned. Lily J announced her reversion to Islam online in 2025, but she has a picture from back in 2018 where she's in front of the Kaaba and she's in like full hijab and everything. So why on earth is someone who only reverted to Islam in 2025 back in 2018 doing something that only Muslims can do? You're not allowed to go near the Kaaba or anything if you're not a Muslim. You're not even, I think you might not even be allowed in Mecca if you're not a Muslim. Allahu A'lam, but this is not a place for like tourists to go travel to. It just doesn't make sense. It's strange. And it hasn't really been clarified either. Also, her Instagram is down. I don't know if that's because she took it down or Instagram did it because of a bunch of like people reporting her account. I'm not sure, but that's also noteworthy. If she did take down her Instagram, that's very suspicious. But I'm leaning towards Instagram probably took it down because of a bunch of reports or something. And again, back to the important stuff. When the Ugandan government says there's no Lily J Foundation registered with them, when people in Gaza can't find the bakery, which by the way, Gaza is small. It's 5 by 25 miles, right? That's 125 square miles. It's tiny, it's small. So if there's a bakery there that was just built that's helping people eat, yeah, people are going to know about it. No one knows about it. That's insanely strange. And on top of all of this, there's no real evidence. You would think if the Lily J Foundation was actually consistently doing proper humanitarian work, there would be actual evidence of it. At the very least, they would have the governments confirming their actual humanitarian work. You would have receipts. You would have work orders. You would have actual testimonies from verified third parties or sources, or at the very least, the person you appeal to prove that you're doing the work is not going to call you a liar and a scammer 2 days later. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. For anyone to see this and still think that people are going too far in slandering her is absurd. And that brings me to my next point. Something that's ludicrous is people are acting like this isn't enough evidence for people to be insanely skeptical of her, to make public videos and statements about her, calling her out, at least demanding evidence and real evidence to prove that she's really doing this work and not scamming the Muslims. And the worst part is the people who are pretending that this isn't enough evidence, they're forgetting the fact that she basically did this before, allegedly. According to an article in 2023, she allegedly attempted to steal about 70,000 US dollars worth of cash from a Chinese man in Thailand. She was arrested for this. Now, we don't really have updates on the situation, what actually happened after, but what the article says is that this man wanted to exchange physical cash for some kind of like virtual currency. And so he went with the cash in his hand, put the cash bag down in front of a man who was supposed to transfer the virtual currency to his account. And then all of a sudden, the cash is missing. So the guy's sitting there waiting for the funds to be transferred to his account so he can give the man the cash, and the bag is gone. And the guy who's supposed to transfer the funds is like, oh, I don't know what happened to the bag. It just disappeared. And then CCTV footage shows the Australian national woman identified as Lily J. Hinson, which is her name, picks up the bag and walks out with it. This is all according to the article. I've been trying to find the CCTV footage. It doesn't seem like it was posted anywhere. And this is all the article states. But this was only like 3 years ago. She started talking about Islam and everything, I think like 6 months after this. And in light of all of this, it's really insane to see some people are still actively defending her. Not just giving her the benefit of the doubt, but actually defending her and pretending that everyone who says anything negative about her, even if it's a bit of speculation, is just like some hater. And I want you guys just to think about something. Remember when Khalid Beydoun was like doing charity work for Gaza, raising money for Gaza, and he ended up getting a payout of $2 million for that? Yeah, everyone, rightfully so, was on him for it. They were mad at him for it. They were basically saying, how on earth could you raise money for Gaza and then take $2 million as the payout for it? That's abhorrent. That's terrible. And I think that's terrible as well. I don't think people should raise money and funds for charities and then take a cut or get paid for it. But the point is, everyone was almost unanimous in being on him for that. Everyone was unanimous, and that was wrong. When the brown man got a payout, a legal payout, he didn't scam anyone. He got a legal payout of $2 million that showed on tax documents for his, charity fundraising work and stuff. Everyone was hating on him for it, rightfully so. But when a blonde white woman with blue eyes is allegedly raising money for Gaza for a bakery that doesn't exist, or building an orphanage in Uganda when the government says there's no organization here called the Lily J Foundation, and it's so clear that this is like next levels of potential scamming and grifting and lying and gaslighting your audience with AI photos and videos, people are like, no, give her the benefit of the doubt. In what world would we give anyone else the benefit of the doubt? Really, like imagine a brown guy like Khalid Beydoun did this exact same thing. Everyone would lose their mind on him unanimously. So I really do believe some people have a crazy double standard and maybe even an inferiority complex when it comes to this woman, because she is a white blonde woman with blue eyes. And I think the worst part is some of these people make it about Islam, like we're committing a sin of slandering her, or we don't know what's in her heart, or we don't have, the hard evidence to really accuse her of this in like a court of law, or that we're just accepting dubious information from an unreliable third party or something. They really downplay all the evidence that we have, and just to pretend that they have some like moral high ground in defending her. And they make it about Islam as if Islam isn't about transparency and rights and justice. What about all the people in Gaza who were supposed to get that money? They were supposed to have a bakery. They were supposed to have access to water trucks and food. And they're not getting it now. And if anyone's raising money, it's upon them to provide the receipts and to be transparent about where the money is going and how it's being used, which she very clearly has not been transparent about. Obviously, when people first accept Islam, they're given leeway. They're given the excuse of ignorance, or given the benefit of the doubt. But when that same person, like we've seen in the past, unfortunately with others, commit shirk publicly multiple times and they don't want to go back on it, or they're scamming multiple times and they don't want to go back on it, they don't want to apologize, they don't want to do tawbah, they don't want to change from their ways, they continue to persist in these sins, and they keep getting reminded, they keep getting advice from others that, hey, this is haram, you should stop, and they persist in it anyways, it gets to a point where like, yeah, they don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. They very clearly know, especially when there's actual evidence of them lying, grifting, severe holes in their story. When they appeal to people as like evidence and those same people come back and say, no, they're a lying scammer. At some point, you have to just put your hands up and go, okay, yeah, I think that something's wrong with this person. And people really need to hold her accountable. People cannot let her just get away with this and pretend it never happened, or just switch the type of content she made and just leave this in the past. I think the Muslim ummah and the Muslim communities around the world have enough issues as it is, and we don't need liars and grifters to steal money out of our pockets. And we definitely don't need Muslims around the world defending that kind of behavior, especially when Muslims' hard-earned dollars can actually go to good causes and can actually be put to use properly. So those are my 2 cents on the topic. I hope you guys found this informative and helpful. And inshallah, I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.